What is up, everybody? Welcome to my photography podcast for all my photography lovers out there. Focus, Recompose, my everything photography show. And we are talking Polaroid this episode. You knew it was coming with all the Polaroid talk on the channel. Unboxings, demonstrations. Especially if you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, I've been posting a lot. I've been talking a lot with Polaroid and testing a lot of their products out, buying a lot of their products, a lot of their newer products, hunting down a lot of their vintage products for my camera collection, as I do have hundreds and hundreds of cameras, both film and digital. I'm now collecting instant cameras, but I've been collecting a lot of the newer I-type cameras, the one-step 2s, the one-step plus. I'm getting the Polaroid Now, the Polaroid printer. This podcast is going to be talking about the one-step 2 and the Polaroid Lab. It's a tongue twister. We're going to be talking about those two specifically because I've been using them recently. Now, I don't know when this is going to go live, depending on when this airs. You may have seen it or you may have not seen it yet, whichever one comes first. But I did a review on the Polaroid Lab showing how it prints pictures from your phone out and the results, and how the whole process works with the app, how you lay your phone down on the camera, how you go into your camera roll, and how the end result is with the different types of film. You may have seen that already, or you may have not. But I did do a demonstration and a review on that. So this podcast is just going to be talking about my experiences as a whole with time, with each device. I guess we'll start with, the Polaroid one-step 2. I'm going to call this like the modern retro in the now, because these are newer cameras, newer type film. How do they stack up today? How do they fit into our lives today? And how is the results? Coming from a guy that has every digital camera, from APS-C censored cameras to point and shoots to full frame to, I have $7,000-$8,000 cameras to $300, $400, $500 cameras. So I have a wide variety to compare it to. And this isn't your professional line of cameras. This isn't your camera that I'm going to run and do a wedding. But this is the camera to have with you along with other cameras to take for fun, to add to the experience. If you want to start a photo album collection of physical media, just for the nostalgia of it, that's what it is. And for that, I think it works out perfect. Now, be prepared to go through a lot of film in the beginning. Because you got to think back, and this is with all film. It's not digital. You can't check your exposures. You can't check your picture in the LCD. You can't delete off your memory card and reshoot again endlessly. This is film, and you have to make your shots count. And I noticed with the one-step 2, it's tricky. It is tricky. Now, one nice thing as far as a film camera is you don't have to wait for your film to develop. It is instant, so you can check it, in like 15 to 20 minutes, which isn't bad. A little longer than the older style Polaroids, but this is a new type of film. This is the I-type film. It also does use the 600 film. So you have the option of the 600 film, not the SX70 film, but you do have the option of the 600 film and the I-type film. I'm going to get to the film in a minute. But like I said, what I found is that you're either underexposing a lot or you're overexposing. So it's a matter of, putting your trust in the light meter, but sometimes that don't fly. Polaroid says, "Oh, the meter usually gets it right, and you always use your flash because the instant cameras love flash." Well, what I found is that my camera mostly overexposes. A lot of times what I had to do is I had to put it on the darken mode, and I also had to override the flash. I was getting a lot of bright yellow overexposed shots, especially outdoors, but sometimes indoors. So, you're going to go through packs before you get this perfected, and then you'll know in your head each situation what you need to do. Do you need to hold down the override button on the flash? Do you need to put it on underexposed? Do you need to put the slider on over? Do you need to leave it in the middle? Because sometimes the light meter isn't accurate. It depends on what type of film are you shooting. It depends on is it the 600 film? Because that shoots differently. Is it the I-type film? Is it black and white film? Is it color film? Is your film cold? Are the conditions cold? Are you shooting in warm conditions? How long do you let are you shielding your exposures right away? All these things come into account as far as your images having a tint to them, the different color tints, a lot. It's not it's a lot different. In the end, is it worth it? I think it is. But you're not going to get the results that you would get out of your 7D Mark II or your Nikon D800 or, you know what I mean? But you're not supposed to. That's the Polaroid look. When you're flipping through your photo album and you're looking at your Polaroids, that's the look that they're going for. That's why they brought it back. If they brought it back for professional results, you just shoot with your digital camera. That's what I tell people. They're like, "Oh, look at this shot I took with my Polaroid." I'm like, "Yeah, it's a Polaroid. It's supposed to look like that." So, I was doing some funky things with mine. I was doing some double exposures. I was doing some light painting. I was getting crazy with it, and it was fun. I was doing some fun things with it. So overall, I think as a photography experience, I think it's great. If you're looking for drop dead sharp, gorgeous results, shoot with your digital. This is for the photography enthusiast. Okay? Now, the Polaroid Lab, you're going to be a little bit more happier with that because you're taking your already made photos that you took with your sharp iPhone or Android, and you're printing them on film. So you're going to get that awesome shot, but you're going to get it on film. So it's kind of the best of both. So I found this to be the way to go. So I found this to be, you're getting your shot, you're getting all the exposure settings correct, and you're getting it on film, which is why I love the Polaroid Lab. You still have to worry about temperature and what type of film you're using. You have to make sure, too, with things like that your iPhone or your Android doesn't have True Tone on. Night Shift, I believe it's called. That your brightness is turned all the way up. That your phone case isn't on. That your screen is very clean. It doesn't have any scratches on it. It doesn't have any marks or smudges on it. It doesn't have a screen protector, because all these things are going to show up on your image because it's using the actual, you're taking a picture of a picture. It's using your phone screen as the picture. So I always make sure that I buff my screen, clean it, and that's how you're going to get good results with the Photo Lab. But if you do all that, and you tell the Photo Lab application what type of film you're using, it'll come out correct. The Photo Lab app is really nice. It's free. It walks you through it, and it's a nice process. I have an album that I made on my camera roll that tells me what pictures are next to print. Basically, what I did was I used the favorite album, and I know that the pictures in my favorite album are the ones that I'm using to print. And mostly what I've been using in the Photo Lab is I've been buying 2 types of film. Well, I've been buying 4. I've been putting the 2 types of film in my 1-step 2. Black and white film, which works the best, I believe. I believe the black and white film is the best to shoot. And the regular color film with the white border. For the Photo Lab, I've been buying color film with the black border because I think it looks nice. And it's called Color Wave. It's for the summer. It's got like pinks, greens, blues, reds. I think that's nice with the Photo Lab. I think the Photo Lab is a great best of both because you're taking all your photos that you love. Now listen, here's a little tip, what they don't tell you. And to me, it's common sense. I knew this right away, and I tried it, and of course it works. It's a no-brainer. The Photo Lab will print pictures off your phone, but they don't necessarily have to be taken with your phone. Because I could go to my portfolio website or Facebook and download pictures that I took with my big DSLR camera, save them to my camera roll, and the Polaroid Labs don't know any different as long as it's on your phone. So pretty much the Polaroid Lab will print any digital picture as long as it's on your phone. Don't care if your phone took it or if you download it from your camera. Even my Sony Alpha A7 mirrorless full frame has an NFC option where it'll send the picture from my full frame 24 megapixel mirrorless camera to my phone to the Polaroid. So there you go. Yeah. The only elephant in the room that we're going to jump to the web here. I would say that I have a problem with is the price of the film. Especially when you're first starting out and especially when you know every exposure and every picture ain't going to come out the greatest. The film is not cheap. Now, the 600 film is going to be a little bit more expensive than the I-type film. The reason why? The 600 film has a battery in it. That's how the old Polaroids worked. The I-type film removed the battery, so the I-type film is a little expensive. But either way, both are not cheap, especially when you're going to be going through boxes in the beginning. And even like with the Polaroid Lab, you're going to want to freaking print pictures out like crazy. I was going through boxes like no tomorrow, going through my camera roll. It's going to add up. You're going to be scrounging in your wallet, both black and white and color. And let me tell you something. There was like a shortage of film. Amazon has been delaying and running out of stock on my film like left and right. And that's just been what's happening. So the problem is the price of the film. If they could get the film down, I know the Fuji Instax film is a lot cheaper. If they could get the price of the film down a lot better, I believe that it'll be more accessible to people. But you're going to... See, the thing is I believe that they already have their audience Polaroid. You know what I mean? You're not just going to get willy-nilly people. You know, back in the day, you could do this because people didn't have a choice. This is all they shot. They didn't have their cell phones. They didn't have these unbelievable cell phone cameras. They didn't have digital. back in the day, in the 70s and 80s, you had your Polaroid. But now today, with all the other options, this is for people like me, nostalgia, and true photographers that want to mess around with film. So they'll pay the extra price for the film. But you're not just going to get the mass majority of people willy-nilly buying these expensive boxes of film. I believe you would get more people if the film came down in price. The prices of the newer cameras and the Polaroid Lab is not bad at all. I think, in my opinion, it's worth it. It's the price of the film. It's the price of admission, as I'd like to say. Let's jump back. Yeah, it wouldn't be so bad, but what is it, like 16 to 18 to 19 bucks a box on Amazon? Not the cheapest, guys, plus shipping and tax. Yeah, you're going to be, it's up there. And it adds up. And that's only 8 pictures. That's 8 pictures. And the 1 step 2 has the has the picture countdown light that tells you. It says 8. So they're not planning on more. Same with the Polaroid Lab. It tells you 8 shots left to print. So they're sticking with their 8 shots. How come they didn't make it 10 or 12? I have no idea. I know the older ones did. But they are stuck on the number 8, and they seem to want to charge you more. I don't know, Polaroid. What's up with that? I'm not crazy about the price as far as that. I would be less worried if I knew every shot was going to be dynamite. But you're gonna get some bad shots. Now, but overall, I think it's nice. I think it's something to talk about, to show people. It's something kind of cool at parties. It's nice to take on trips to have those iconic landmark shots. It would be cool at weddings just for, to add to their, wedding memories, a couple shots here and there. Have a 1 step 2 with you just for certain shots, just to add to the experience. Like I said, it goes along with your other cameras. Like now when I go on shoots or trips, I'll have the 1 step 2 with me just to have it. I mean, I'm going to have my other big DSLRs and cameras with me and my phone, but I'll have that with me on the side. I usually always have a box of black and white, so I want to shoot some black and white film. Because I have a photo album going, so I'd like to fill it. I like to add to it, It's a new thing that I'm actually working on. I got the kids on there. I got the pets. I'm doing a lot with the Polaroid Lab, like pictures of my phone that I always want to print it, that are always stuck on my phone, that don't have physical hard copies of. Now I'm printing them on film. It's kind of cool. I even went back to my old wedding album that my photographer took. I'm printing some of them. It's nice. So, it's nice. It's, between the Polaroid Lab and the 1 step 2, I'm getting my film Polaroid fix. And overall, do I think it's worth it? I do. But it depends on you. It depends on the person, the photographer. Are you going to get your money's worth out of it? Or are you going to mind, buying the film in the future? Are you going to mind dropping down some bucks on film? There's a lot of cool film options. There's even a Christmas film out there with a Christmas border. Between the I-type and the 600 film, there's lots of film options. You're thinking black and white and color, but no. There's lots. There's different borders. I like the black matte. I've been buying. I don't have one handy on me, but they look really nice. They look really, really nice. You know what? Hold on. I don't know how this camera's picking it up, but oh, here we go. The one on the right is an HDR shot of a horse. His name is Jake. And this is Brooke. Little Brooke on the left. That was a selfie from my iPhone. But that's that black mat. That black border. I think it looks stellar. I'll show you some straight from the one step. Double exposure. Straight from the one step. I'll show you two more from the Polaroid Lab. This is my Jack Russell Mario and one of my wedding shots. So yeah. I mean, it's cool, right? Got a little album going there. And I got black and white film coming, but it's delayed. Amazon, it's back ordered, but it's coming. I ordered the Color Wave, which has got the different colors on the border, the summer colors. Each piece of film is a different color. I got the one is like it's called, I forget what it's called. I think it's Notebook. One has like paper clips. One has like the lines in notebook paper. That one's coming. Use that with the kids. More black border, and regular white I-type border, standard Polaroid. So it's all coming. So I got like a box coming. And I'll be using some for the one step, and I'll be using some for the Polaroid Lab to print right from my phone. I got like another album ready to go that I know which pictures to print next. So, you know, between the Polaroid One Step 2 and the Polaroid Lab, I'm spending a lot on film. That's another thing. But I think it's worth it and fun in the end. And you're getting a nice, product at the end, physical album to show off to people and put it on your coffee table. Nice to look through. People check it out. It's kind of like a throwback, So if you're into that kind of thing, I think it's definitely worth it, and I think you should definitely check it out. At least one of the products. And then there's the One Step 2 Plus that you could do a little bit more things. You could control the camera from your phone. And not really too much more. I could do double exposures with this camera. You just have to know how to do it. There's a couple little film tricks that you could have even done back in the day with the old Polaroids I used to do. I used to do crazy stuff. People used to look at me like I was nuts. And then there's like the One Step Now, a Polaroid Now, which is like a smaller camera. And I think my favorite is the Lab. That is a cool device. I still think that is the coolest thing. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, oh, I have to own this. Because there's always a lot of pictures that I want to print on film. So the technology is pretty cool, you have to admit. And it's instant. It's fast. It develops in the same time as your One Step 2 pictures would. So like as soon as you snap the picture and it comes out, the Polaroid Lab does the same thing. You put your phone on it, it beeps, it comes out, you develop it, it's done. And like you saw there on this photo album, they look great. Not a problem. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this podcast up. That was my Polaroid edition of Focus Recompose, my photography podcast. We'll be talking about lots of stuff coming. I'll cover the news. I'll cover new cameras coming out, new lenses, old stuff, product reviews, stuff that I'm testing out, always testing out stuff. Take care, guys. I'll be seeing you again soon. Love you guys. I really do. Always did.